So here we are guys, 4 years later after owning the standard one. We're actually going to get a ride on the SP. But I tell you what, this feels way different, I'm not going to lie. Okay, it definitely feels like an MT-09 of course. I'm in familiar territory. But the big thing that we want to talk about here, the big thing that I want to notice, because I know that bike inside and out, is the suspension. And I tell you what, I didn't think I'd notice so much. I've always kind of said that the stock suspension on the standard one is pretty damn good, considering what the old generations were like. But you know what, it is night and day. The suspension on this is so much stiffer. This feels way more like a sport bike. Yeah, even bouncing like this is so much more firm. I don't know, I don't know what I like more. I can see this is more refined by far. This is way more like I said, that sport bike feeling suspension gives it way more like confidence, I guess. It's so much smoother. But because that one's slightly more bouncy, it makes it feel a bit more playful. But now I've ridden this, I can tell you from first-hand experience, it is actually night and day, which has surprised me. Because I've been glazing over the stock one, because obviously when you have something, you have to justify it to yourself, and you have to take a side. But I'm fully shocked with how much I like this. I don't know what the difference is in terms of tuning, because they've both had the same exhaust done, the same restrictions removed, things like that. Maybe the throttle on this, just because it's a different throttle altogether, it feels more smooth. But I don't know if that's down to the suspension, like it just feels more linear. Mine feels a bit more raw. But yeah, I like it, I really do like it. But the main reason I never went for the SP in the first place was the colour scheme. But if I'd have known I could have just wrapped the bike, and it would have been the same colour, I probably would have got this, to be fair, because I could have wrapped it the same camo look and it would have had gold forks. But you know what? No regrets. I mean, it's not that big of a difference that I'm regretting the last 4 years of owning my MT-09 at all. Not by any means. But I tell you what, if you just want the quick shorthand answer, if you could afford either or, and you weren't fazed by the colour scheme, I think the SP is a solid option. And of course it's got cruise control. I'm not going to mess around with that because I don't really care about that. But if I owned it, it would make sense, and it would probably do me massive favours on long trips. Yeah, they still move, they still boogie. Yeah, dudes, I've got to put ego aside. The SP is the far better bike. By far. It's night and day, man. And you know what? Out of us two riders here, Leo here is far better than I am. And he'll tell you, I'm sure I can get a summary after this, because I'd like to know his feedback. And while we're at it, look at these roads. I think he's had enough. I think he wants his bike back. And let's see what he thinks. But overall, I'm very much impressed with this bike. But the suspension on that is way better.
Interesting.
That was so much more like on the gas, it was just smooth, like it felt way more linear. Whereas this bounces around more, and I feel like it's a bit more, yeah, you don't get that sagging feeling. So this feels more raw in some ways, but that feels more refined. Yeah, that just feels like a better bike all round in terms of a bike and what you get for your money. The seat's wicked though, I like that, that's night and day. I might have to get one of these. That's a big difference.
I thought that was actually really good. I thought the suspension was fine.
For stock, I think they fixed it on that gen. Well, do you know what, I'll do the same thing as I jump on. I'll speak out what I feel initially, and then I can look back at it and see the difference.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that much of a difference though.
I didn't mind this at all. This is cool.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, this bike is definitely more raw, it's more gritty, like I don't know what it is, it just feels more visceral. But yeah, this is no slouch at all, this really is not pogo-y at all compared to the SP. It's just the SP is that little bit more refined, but it's not the be all and end all. If you was to get the stock, you're not going to notice the difference unless you had literally an SP by your side. You go back to back to back to back, because after 2 minutes of being back on this, I'm already back to kind of thinking this is perfectly fine. Well, I'll tell you what, I've definitely sidetracked myself from the purpose of this video. Sidetracked by the view. That looks awesome, man. Well, I don't know if that covered anything. That was just me having a little mess around on the SP. As I said, don't feel disheartened if you've got the standard model. It's really not that much difference. It's just you're paying for the cruise control and the extra refinery.